Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I'm Austin McCullers, president of American Ballot Operations. Today, we're cutting through all the high-level political theory and looking at the raw, unfiltered realities of the ground game. Look, this isn't your standard, polished campaign chat. Consider this your tactical field manual. We are looking directly at what it actually takes to get a candidate or an initiative on the ballot. And spoiler alert, it takes sweat, it takes intense strategy, and it takes an absolutely ironclad understanding of field operations.
So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to quickly break down the door-knocking myth, dive into the reality of the field, go over how we train for absolute signature validity, talk about negotiating public space, and finally, look at the clipboard career path.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the door-knocking myth. We have to break some assumptions right out of the gate.
See, campaign headquarters often imagines petitioning in its neatest, most ideal form. They picture a polite canvasser at a quiet suburban door, having a nice chat, calmly passing a clipboard back and forth. But man, the reality is a completely different animal. Those neat spreadsheet assumptions just do not survive out on the pavement. Real signature gathering, it is loud, it is fast, and it's highly mobile. Our teams operate at busy transit hubs and crowded downtown corridors, where the public is moving fast and honestly, their patience is incredibly limited.
And that brings us to a foundational truth you simply cannot ignore. Political fieldwork is physical work. I mean, we're talking standing for hours on concrete, walking miles, carrying gear in all kinds of weather. Honestly, investing in good boots is just as important as having good talking points. While communication absolutely matters, without sharp operational judgment and the sheer physical stamina to back it up, a worker is going to fail, no matter how eloquent their pitch is.
So, Section 2, the reality of the field. If we aren't politely knocking on suburban doors, where exactly is the real work happening?
Well, the terrain dictates the tactic, right? It's like a tactical puzzle. Take a courthouse table, for example. There, you're managing highly sensitive public access rules. It demands super calm professionalism and strict compliance. But then, drop that same worker into a street blitz, and suddenly they're managing fast conversations and literally constant rejection, which requires incredible emotional resilience. And at an event, that's all about crowd timing and controlling your message. You absolutely cannot use a fast-paced street blitz mentality at a quiet county courthouse. It just won't work.
Now, here is a harsh, unavoidable economic reality. Zero. Nada. Nothing. That is the exact value of an invalid signature. A signature you got on the cheap is worth absolutely zero if it gets thrown out by the state. If a petition sheet is filled with unqualified voters, or illegible addresses, or missing dates, it doesn't just hurt the campaign's bottom line, it literally erases that worker's labor and income for that entire hour.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, training for signature validity. This is how we protect the production and the money.
Okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. How do we actually train new field workers to survive these brutal economics? Here are the actionable, totally non-negotiable tips we hammer into every single field worker. Step 1. Deliver the precise pitch, quickly, to earn their attention. Step 2, and this is huge, slow down. You must literally pause the interaction to ensure the voter is signing on the correct line. Step 3. Confirm their basic eligibility up front. Are they actually registered in this specific county? Don't assume, ask. And Step 4. Keep the sheet clean. No stray marks, no crumpled corners, definitely no coffee stains. A sloppy signature costs the campaign its deadline, and it costs the worker their livelihood.
I cannot stress this next point enough. So many campaigns get this totally backwards. Low-quality volume is a massive liability. It is not a success. Pushing a crew to just grab raw, careless volume creates unbelievable back-end legal risk, and honestly, it destroys team morale. Clean production is the only kind of production that actually lasts.
All right, Section 4, negotiating public space. Because getting those clean signatures means claiming and holding the right location.
You see, an experienced worker isn't just standing outside somewhere hoping for the best. They are actively negotiating public space. You could find the busiest transit hub or courthouse in the state, an absolute goldmine for foot traffic, but it is entirely useless to us unless the crew can legally and practically operate there. Our teams have to be able to read the crowd, navigate really complex public access laws, and handle building security without ever losing their cool.
When we're deploying methods for negotiating space at these difficult spots, we have strict rules of engagement. First off, understand your boundaries. Where exactly does public property end and private property begin? Second, assert your lawful petitioning rights calmly. Third, you have to actively de-escalate with security and property managers. Fourth, never, ever block pedestrian flow.
The second you become a physical obstacle, you lose your right to be there. And remember the golden rule here. Winning the production mission is way more important than winning a shouting match with a security guard. If you're standing there arguing, you know what you're not doing? Gathering signatures.
Now, during high-volume street blitzes, the discipline has to be intense. You absolutely have to maintain proper crew spacing so the general public doesn't feel swarmed. You need clear roles, and you have to provide fast, on-the-ground coaching to adjust pitches in real time. Why is all this so critical? Because just one single bad interaction caught on a cell phone camera can get your entire operation shut down in that city. Professionalism isn't just nice to have, it is quite literally our best risk management strategy.
Okay, moving to our final section, the Clipboard career path. Let's talk about the long game here.
Because this work is so physically and tactically demanding, those who survive and thrive in it build incredible, truly irreplaceable political skills. There is a real career trajectory here. You start in Phase 1 as a circulator, where you just prove you can produce valid signatures under pressure. Master that, and Phase 2 steps you up to a table or blitz lead, managing actual public stations. By Phase 3, you're a travel crew lead, adapting to totally new state laws and heavy logistics overnight. And finally, Phase 4, field director. Now you're managing total statewide compliance, mass production, and crew morale. The Clipboard isn't just some temporary tool. It's a profound education in high-level leadership.
Look, campaigns usually face a stark choice between two completely different approaches. There's the traditional mindset. Cheap, disposable labor, just throwing untrained bodies at the problem. Sure, it looks cheap up front on a spreadsheet, but it results in massive turnover, abysmal validity rates, and huge legal risk. Contrast that with the American Ballot Operations Standard. Professional crews. Yes, it costs slightly more to train them properly up front, but the return? Rock-steady output, significantly cleaner signatures, and radically lower back-end risk.
Don't ever forget this. The people out there doing this work, they are not background characters in your campaign story. They are often the very first real human contact between your campaign and the voting public. These professionally trained workers are the actual foundation that gets candidates and initiatives across the finish line. If you ignore their training, I promise you, you're going to learn a very hard, very expensive lesson at the deadline.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to really challenge how you approach your operations. Are you still treating your field operation like a temporary hustle? Or are you finally ready to invest in the professional craft that actually wins campaigns? Take a hard look at your validity rates this week and ask yourself if you're truly prepared for the reality of the field. I'm Austin McCullers. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep up the good fight out there.